Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear in the chat. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Is that a little better, guys? Is that a little better? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. All right. A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost the traction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 660th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. It is Thursday, August 13th of 2020. It is good to have you guys in today. We are streaming live to both YouTube and Sharpe Stream. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. A big shout out goes to my guys over on Sharpe Stream. Sharpe Stream, of course, is available to patrons only. Sharpe Stream, you get a much better quality stream. It is crystal clear, 1080p high definition. It's not bad. It's not bad on YouTube, but it is much better on Sharpe Stream. To get your hands on that content, go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe to get a hold of Sharpe Stream, to get access to Sharpe Stream and other exclusive content. Guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my content. If you think this content needs to get out, like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that on you guys' part. That would help the show and the stream. Let me go in and shout everybody out here before we get started. I'll let people trickle in. Apollo 137 on the Sharpe Stream side. Good to see you in here. The African Wolf, Dre Raven, Squadron J, JB84, EDM Red Pill, Male 20. Of course, just had his 20th birthday not too long ago. Ice Dragon Kid is in the house. Odin, King Sargon II, Red Pill Mike, RPM, of course, is always in the house. Good to see you in here. MD Godfather, shout out to you, my friend. Tricky Trini, good to see you guys in here. Tom Brokaw, shout out to you, my friend. Good stuff, good stuff. 225 watching on the YouTube side. 70 watching on the Sharpe stream side, of course. We got people up in here double dipping. I certainly have no problem with that. I'm going to open up the phone lines later because trust me when I tell you, you are absolutely positively going to want to chime in on this. I normally go for about 2 hours. I'm not going to go that long today. I was going to do another Love After Lockup breakdown, but I've got some upgrades to do to my studio. I got my brand new curved screens in literally about 15 minutes ago. They were delivered 15 minutes ago, and I've got to set those up. Got to get the cardboard out of here. I could probably be on the air for a little bit longer than I normally do, but like my house is full of, I got all kinds of deliveries, all sorts of upgrades. I'm making another $5,000 worth of upgrades to this studio. And then of course we've got the equipment coming in for Studio B. Very, very excited for Studio B. And real quick, just a quick update. I've hired my cameraman. I've hired my driver, Steve the Dean Williams. This is all for Womanese Volume 2. And I have officially hired my hair and makeup stylist. My hair and makeup artist has agreed to sign on and help out with the project. I've got, I think I've got 2.5 models who have already committed. 2.5 models that are fully committed. I haven't made my choice. I haven't made my decision on the models yet. I'll be making those by the end of the week. So shout out to Solo TV 84, as well as Myron 4% Body Fat Gains, who have been funneling me some pretty good looking girls. We'll see what's going on there. The African Wolf says, Captain Donovan, yeah, listen, I actually made it a goal of mine. One thing that I really like, and I know that this is off the topic. I promise we'll get to today's topic. We'll get to today's show topic. But I have always liked the superhero compression shirts, right? But you shouldn't really wear the superhero compression shirts unless, of course, you have a superhero type body. Obviously, you guys have seen that I've made some serious progress. A lot of people have gained the Quarantine 15. A lot of people have gained a substantial amount of weight because of the quarantine, not being able to go to the gym and lift weights like they normally are. But because I have a gym in my house and I'm in it 6 to 7 days per week, I have made a lot of progress in a little time. I'm probably down about 30 pounds, but I've gained some muscle too. And because of that, I have a new and improved physique. I've probably got another month or two before I get to where I really want to be. But dude, I looked in the mirror the other day. I was like, you know what? I'm starting to really V out. I'm starting to really, get the body that I want. So I said, so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get my superhero compression shirts. They look fucking fly. They look fucking fresh, quick drying, so I can wear them on the show as well as the gym. I love it. King Mark says, I have a superhero body, the Elastic Man. Well said. At any rate, let's get right to it. So every once in a while, I will make mention of a specific website called fakeababy.com. And if you guys are looking at your screen, fakeababy.com is a website that sells, I don't want to say memorabilia. They sell things as quote-unquote gag gifts to make men believe that they are the father of said child. Or rather, they sell items. They sell items to to convince a man that his girlfriend and or wife is pregnant. And just scrolling through here quickly, and I got to be careful because they actually have a fake set of boobs. I don't want boobs to trip off the YouTube YouTube algorithm. But as we quickly go through this, and I'm going to open up the phone lines. Actually, I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. 914-205-5356. Again, that's 914-205-5356. But if we just quickly look through fakeababy.com, we can see that they sell fake ultrasounds and sonograms. Look at this. And it says at the top, conveniently for entertainment purposes only. So it is a 3 to 4 week strip ultrasound, 3 different pictures. I mean, this is incredible. Look at this stuff, guys. Look at this stuff. This stuff is really, really convincing. This stuff is really, really convincing. I mean, look at this. I mean, if we didn't know that this was on a website, look at this, 9 to 10 weeks. Look, I actually just figured this out. So they actually do this in chronological order. Look at this. They actually do this in chronological order. Holy moly, look at this. There's a 3 to 4 week strip. Let's move to the next one. Look at this, 4 to 6. So they're not just doing random pictures. They're actually choosing pictures that are as close to what a sonogram or an ultrasound should look like. They're 7 to 8 weeks. This is incredible. I didn't even know this. I had no idea. Listen, 9 to 10 weeks? Oh my goodness. Look at this. Let's go all the way here. Holy smokes. Look at this. 10 to 14 weeks. This is a triplet. Look at this. Oh my God. This is unbelievable. Look at this stuff, guys. 13 to 14 weeks. Like, it's chronologically accurate. And of course, because we as men, we don't know what this stuff is supposed to look like. We don't know whether it's fake or not. Obviously, because we're men, we don't have to worry about that stuff until, of course, we have to worry about it. We believe it. Then, of course, we're still on fakeababy.com. Now we've got the fake pregnancy papers. Look at this. It actually looks legit. Type, you know, they've got the blood type, the primary lab, the patient name, the age. I mean, this is incredible. Look at how legitimate these papers look. This is all on fakeababy.com. Fakeababy.com, what they market this as a gag gift website. Happy Father's Day, I'm pregnant. This particular website is specifically designed to give women the tools to make their boyfriends or husbands think that they are pregnant. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, and phone lines are open, 914-205-5356. Now you're probably thinking, okay, so my wife or girlfriend says that she is pregnant. Okay, Donovan, like, we get it. That's diabolical. We understand that. But what about the paternity test? If my girl came to me and said, hey, look, honey, let me go back and said, hey, look, honey, I'm pregnant. And by the way, they sell fake positive pregnancy tests. Hang on a second. Let me do a positive. They actually sell fake positive pregnancy tests on this site. There it is. Look at this. Fake pregnancy and fake DNA tests, right? There's the fake. Listen. There's the fake pregnancy test. So you can buy, oh my God, honey, I'm pregnant. Well, how do you know you're pregnant? Well, I took a pregnancy test. Oh my goodness, there's my prescription to, you know, blah, 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 blah. Right? And the guy's like, okay, all right, I got you. Okay. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm taking phone calls, 914-205-5356. This is specifically about paternity fraud. Call specifically about fake pregnancy tests and so forth. Don't call up here talking about Donovan. There's this girl. I'm going to hang up on you. Okay? Don't call up and do not call my show. Do not call my show talking about Donovan. I got to say these. No, don't want to hear about that. Don't want to hear about that. There is a day, a time, and a place for that. Okay? When you call in, I want to know what your opinion is. Do you have stories, opinions on fake pregnancies? So your girl comes home. Hey, honey, I'm pregnant. There's the ultrasound. Oh, I'm so excited. There's my pregnancy test. Oh, I just pissed a plus sign. Whoop. I'm so excited. Ooh, man, I almost went down too far with the fake boobs. There, listen, look, here's my ultrasound. And listen, honey, I wanted to make sure I was pregnant. Well, how far along are you? Well, I'm 3 to 4 weeks pregnant. And oh, by the way, here's the ultrasound. There's Junior right there, 3 to 4 weeks. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Now, at this point, we probably think to ourselves, all right, well, we are Crimson Capsule aware, right? We know that women, and King Sargon says it might be vasectomy time. Oh, just you wait, my friend. Just you wait. So you're a part of this community. You understand how women get down. You understand that they fake pregnancies. Listen, I actually had this happen to me once. There was a girl I was seeing. We were just casually dating, and I was going to sort of slowly fade out of her life. So I gave her a call. You guys have heard about this. This is episode 27. How I was almost falsely accused of female harm in a domestic situation, to keep it YouTube friendly, right? I called her up. I shot her a text message. Says, hey, kind of busy this week. Let's meet up again next week. That was the plan. I was just going to fade out of her life, right? So she's texting me, what's the problem? I'm like, am I not good enough for you anymore? What is it? Like, what is it? I just told her, look, and I mean, listen, it's nothing against you. I still like you, still like hanging out. It's just that I'm going to be busy for the next couple of weeks. We'll pick up right where we off 2 weeks from now. Of course, again, the plan was for me to just ghost her. And women, most of the time, they get the message, right? They get the message. All right, listen, he's ghosting on me. That's all right. I'm screwing 8 other guys. Big effing deal. And they just sort of say, okay, they go, all right, well, I guess I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And then when you never call, no big deal, because they've added 4 more guys to their roster. Well, Dee Dee was a little bit different. About 15 minutes after we had stopped our text exchange, she shot me a text message that says, Donovan, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, what? Now, I was a little shocked, but this wasn't the first time this had happened. I've had girls try this on me before, and I could see in their face, because they told me in person, that they weren't indeed pregnant, right? So, listen, after a 15, 20-minute conversation, eventually, okay, listen, I'm not pregnant. I was just afraid to lose you. False positive, whatever the case may be. No, not with Dee Dee. So I went to the CVS and I purchased 2 pregnancy tests. Pro tip, gentlemen, always make her take it twice. So I get to her place. I walk right in. And she says, oh, thank you so very much for coming over. I'm just so surprised. I whipped out the pregnancy test. I said, go to the bathroom and piss on a stick right now. Dude, she was a white girl. She was even whiter. If she had been any whiter, she'd have been clear. She was as white as a ghost. Looked scared as hell, but she couldn't hesitate because she just told me that she was pregnant, right? So I called her on it. I said, all right, listen, take this pregnancy test right now. Of course, she pissed a negative sign. So now she starts crying. I said, all right, take another one. I don't want to do this. I said, take the effing pregnancy test. Now I'm mad. Because I know she lied to me, but I wanted her to take it one more time just so that we both know, just so that she couldn't call me later. Well, I took another pregnancy test and I'm pregnant. It was a false positive. So again, 20 minutes later, she pissed on a stick. She pissed a negative sign, didn't piss a plus sign. So now again, she's crying. And she says, listen, I just didn't want to lose you. I knew that you were trying to ghost me, and I knew that you were seeing this other girl. I forgot what her name was. Oh, wow. What the hell was that? Well, anyway, she's like, I knew you were seeing this other girl, et cetera, et cetera. I just didn't want to lose you, right? So I said, listen, Dee Dee, it's been fun, but I can't forgive this. I'm not going to forgive this. As I start to walk out the door, I hear her on the phone. Yes, my boyfriend is choking and slapping me. She's on the phone with the Las Vegas Police Department. She is falsely accusing me of choking and slapping her, right? All because I went over there and gave her a pregnancy test to take. Donovan, I'm pregnant. I made her prove that she was. She obviously couldn't prove it. She freaked out, called the cops. Long story short, I got her. I took out my phone, recording app on my phone, and I recorded a conversation. I just asked her, I said, listen, why are you lying about this? Like, what are you doing? I did not expect her to take the bait, but she says, listen, I'm just so tired of this BS. She said, I didn't mean to lie to you, but I didn't want to lose you. That was all that I needed. So and again, there's much more detail to the story. The Vegas police come in, right? They come in, they ask her what her side of the story is. She tells them what she told the 911 operator. Then they asked me, I said, and I quote, I said, officers, I put both hands above my head. I said, officers, I'm going to reach for my phone, okay? You see both my hands? I did this because, again, listen, 2 white cops are in a room with a 6 foot, well, I'm 6'2", 225, 6'2", 225 black man with a white girl who's accused me of choking and slapping her, even though she has no visible signs of distress. I said, I'm going to reach for my phone. The officer gave me his quick, sharp nod, reached over to the phone, and pressed the play button. And to my great relief, our conversation rang out as clear as a bell. So now Dee Dee starts crying. The officers, apparently arrested her for making a false claim. She probably didn't spend time in jail. They asked me if I wanted to take a restraining order. I said, I don't care. Who cares? Just want her out of my life. It was interesting because the summer after that, she actually sent me a text apologizing for the whole fiasco and that she missed me. Anyway, the point is that if I had not made her take that pregnancy test, I may very well be a father today. If I just took her at her word and just took her word for the fact that she was pregnant, at that point, well, she's pregnant. I may as well start having intimacy without protection. And guess what? You end up knocking her up. Oh, well, I guess I gave birth 3 weeks later than I should have. That's what this is, right? So we come back to thefakeababy.com. Oh my God, I'm pregnant, blah, 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 blah. Now you have this awareness. Gentlemen, women have stepped it up even further. Look at your screen, guys. That's right. This is a fake DNA test. And Greg in Miami, I see you on the line. I'm going to get to you in a second. Again, 914-205-5356. That's the number to call. Keep it on topic. We're talking about fake pregnancies, fake DNA tests. Look at this, guys. This is called fakednatest.com. I'm reading the website, quote, get a fully verified fake DNA test report proving you have taken a real DNA test. You choose the, quote, name and the, quote, results. We send you a fully verified report within 1 business hour. This is fast food. This is drive-through Burger King. Yeah, let me get a Whopper and a Diet Coke. Bam, right there. In 1 hour, within 1 business hour, you can call these people up and they can give you fake DNA test results. Even further, watch this. If your partner contacts the real company, our team will confirm the DNA test results. We are sure they will believe you. It continues, we have nationwide, quote, real DNA companies in the following countries: UK, Ireland, USA, and Canada. There is a 100% money-back guarantee. And look at this, guys, it's no risk. There is no link, if you're seeing this in the green, no link between the real and fake testing company. Our analytical DNA reports are 3 to 4 pages and replicate a real report. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. The local company branding and contact details are on the fake DNA test results. Look at how much this is, guys. $60. That's it. $60. And you can make a man think that he has knocked you up. $60. And you can make a man think that the baby in your belly belongs to someone else. Here's how it works. Simply fill out our online form detailing the names and results you want to appear on the fake DNA test certificate. Once your payment has been processed, you will be redirected to our real DNA company website, which details the simple method to collect DNA samples. The site also contains a consent form for you to send with your samples. Within 1 business hour, you will receive an email from the real DNA company containing your results. We have tried, tested, and refined this process hundreds of times, so we know it works. And again, we guarantee that there is no link between the, quote, fake and, quote, real DNA company. Do you want to know why? You want to know why I know that companies like this are trying to harm men? You want to know why I know this? Look at the price. It's just $60. Listen, if they really were in the business of making money, dude, there are women that would pay thousands of dollars to make some unsuspecting guy think that the baby in her belly belongs to him. They would pay thousands of dollars, but guess what? These companies know that if a woman is desperate enough to try to trap a dude with a baby and make him think that it's actually his, these companies know these women don't have any money. They know that this is a money play. These companies know that these women don't have any money yet. So they're making this $60. $60. And you can make any man believe that the baby in your belly belongs to you. Incredible. 914-205-5356. Let us go to Greg in Miami. Greg in Miami, you're on with you're on live with Donovan Sharpe. Go ahead. Greg in Miami. Oh, you want to know something? You want to know something, guys? That sucks. Hang on, guys. Greg in Miami, I'm going to have to listen, Greg in Miami, I need you to call back because there's something going on with Blog Talk Radio. Remember that, that's weird. There was no sound. You guys remember that sound that played a little bit earlier? That was probably Blog Talk Radio killing the stream. So I'm going to dial it back up. I'm going to dial back in. And again, just bear with me. I can't stand when this stuff happens, man. I cannot stand when this happens. It's like I put all of this time and effort. I make sure my production is 100% on point, but as soon as I dial in, Blog Talk Radio lets me down. I hate that. I hate it when my equipment or my services do not pull their weight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dial back in. And I'm going to see. Yeah, Devin, I know the episode ended, sweetheart, because I ended it. I couldn't hear anything, and it had everything to do with the fact that this, you gotta be kidding me. I hate when this happens, man. Now my show has grinded to a halt. Big thanks goes out to Gregory McGrath with the $10 super chat. It says Dr. Feelgood on the ultrasound. Yeah, right. Exactly. Of course, listen, of course it's Dr. Feelgood. Somebody's about to get paid. This is incredible. Age of Machines with the $5 super chat says, this is a real must-see TV. Thank you, Donovan. This must be discussed. This business and the family courts, give me a second, guys, are incentivizing in female deception. I'm going to read this again because I'm going to try to dial back into Blog Talk. He said, this is real must-see TV.
Start your show now. Press 1 to hear important.
Your show is scheduled to start in 30 seconds.
Okay, so in 30 seconds, guys, call back in. Greg in Miami, I'll put you through first. 914-205-5356. Devin, dial back in so that you can screen the callers. But Age of Machines, again, with the $5 super chat says, this is the real must-see TV. Thank you, Donovan. This must be discussed. This business and the family courts are in...
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is exactly why I dial in before the show. Anyway, he says, this business and the family courts are incentivizing female deception. They're incentivizing deception. That's what this is. As soon as a woman can, quote, prove that the baby belongs to XYZ athlete, star, rich person, whatever the case may be, they're set for life. Lottery ticket. And this actually has to do, and again, 914-205-5356, this has everything to do with one of the 3 pillars of feminism. Greg in Miami, I see you. Just give me just a second. The 3 pillars of feminism, or the 3 pillars of the girl power movement, right? The first pillar, the first objective of the girl power movement is to remove all sexual strengths from women while putting them on men. In other words, they encourage women to be promiscuous while literally criminalizing male sexual desire. This is why we have the street harassment lawsuits, the hashtag M2 movement, street harassment, catcalling. Anytime a man actually shows interest in a woman in a non-friendly, maybe a sexual way, that has been criminalized. The United States has legislated against being masculine. They have criminalized male sexual assertiveness. But then they incentivize female promiscuity. That's the first objective. The second objective is to remove all authority from men and giving all of the authority to women, while simultaneously putting all the responsibility on men, while taking all the responsibility away from women. Men, we have no authority, but we still bear all the responsibility. Women are in charge of everything, but when the bleep hits the fan, we don't blame them. Women are the leaders, but we don't hold them accountable as leaders. That's the second objective. The third objective is the transference of resources from men to women. Now, the way that this was accomplished, and again, I'm going to get to you just a second, Greg in Miami. The way that this was normally accomplished was obviously through marriage in the court system, marriage in the family court system. Listen, we hear story after story about a man getting ran through, so to speak, in divorce court and family court. All a woman has to do is say, he hit me, or I'm scared, whatever the case may be. He gets his kids taken away, gets his house taken away, restraining order, they take him to court. He is literally stripped. He gets his wallet ripped out of his you-know-what, and now the woman has him by the kahunas, right? That's how that works. But men have started to wise up and are avoiding marriage. So what did women decide to do? Well, women adjusted. Okay, if men won't marry us, we will just have the kids of men. We will baby trap men. We will trick men into thinking that we are on birth control so that they will have unprotected sex with us and knock us up. We don't need a marriage certificate to transfer resources from men to women. All we need is the baby. That worked for about 15, 20 years. Men wised up still. Now, men avoid relationships altogether, let alone marriage. Men are extra careful with their contraception. They don't let females handle their condoms. Men are extra careful. So now women are saying, well, what? How can we transfer resources from men to women if men aren't marrying us anymore? How can we how can we get their resources if they won't even have kids with us anymore? Well, now they do it this way. They do it this way. Fake DNA test certificate, fake paternity test results, fake pregnancies, fakeababy.com, and so forth. When men adjust to what women are doing to them, women take it one step further. Men aren't marrying women anymore. Men are avoiding having children with women. So now women are saying, okay, well, men can't do without sex. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go off and get pregnant by somebody else, but we're going to make him think the baby belongs to him. How can we do that? Well, fortunately for these women, there are companies willing to aid them in the deception. And that is where we are today. Let me read these super chats, then I will get to Greg in Miami. I will get to Akametsu in Japan. Nonstop Dre 360 says just $60 to trap a man for 18 years minimum. Dude, I'm trying to tell you, this company, whatever company is doing this, is not in this to make money. If they were in this to make money, they charge $600 instead of $60. But because they are trying to transfer resources from women to men, they're making it super affordable. We all know the typical hood rat herd net worth is $5. Less than that, right? We all know that ain't bleep female dogs live $40 at a time. This company knows this. So there is no way on God's green earth that they would ever make this non-affordable. Oh no, of course this is affordable. They know that if a woman is this desperate, she probably doesn't have the money to pay into the 3 figures to make a man think that a baby is his when it's really not. Thanos was right with the 2 British pounds. Says Donovan, take no poop emoji. Big up to your channel, appreciate that. Nonstop Dre 360 says YouTube will definitely shadow ban this video. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows? But I'll tell you this. If they give me the green dollar sign, I'm going to leave it up. If they don't, I'm taking it down. That's just all there is to it. All right, let us go to the phone lines. Let us go to Greg in Miami. Greg in Miami, you're on Live at Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, boss. A couple of years ago, I'm a nurse, and I was taking care of a family that they medevaced their dad from Puerto Rico. Well, one of their associated friends that was an engineer in Mexico, she really got into me, and she actually just showed up on my doorstep here in Miami. And we hit it off. She was gorgeous, everything. She was smart, articulate, everything that she didn't embarrass you anywhere you went. All of a sudden, the crazy popped out. And I said, I can't take this. I already bought you a plane ticket.
Wow.
She turned around, and on her laptop, it looked like she actually fabricated a pregnancy test, like it was from a local lab. Being a nurse, I'm smart enough to go back and look for the results on my own. And there was no mention of her even being in the system in South Florida.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was smart enough to go and get her tested. And
Good.
I took her in the lab, and then she came out. She had the paper in the hand. We did the blood test, which is more accurate than the urine. And I was like, sweetheart, I'm putting you in a hotel. You got to go. Put her on the plane, and she was out.
Good.
The reality is you nailed it on the head. If you look on some of the paperwork you have, there's an area code of 786. Right around the corner, there's some very, very poor neighborhoods. People immigrated from Central and Latin America, all over Latin America. Their family members are smart enough to put together enough money to get somebody to be a med tech. And they learn how these systems work. I've seen fake documents for diseases to get benefits.
What?
You name it. It's not just for pregnancy. Yes.
Oh, whoa. Hold on, Greg. Let me stop you right there.
Disabilities
Hold
and
on real
everything.
quick, Greg. Let me stop you right there. I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. You're telling me that there are fake documents to make people think that they have a disease that they do not actually have?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
I see it all the time because they come in, they think they're dying, they think they have some strange exotic disease. We do a full workup. I'm sorry, you're healthy, buddy.
Jesus.
And then
Then you talked about disability.
Here's your $1,500 workup. Say again?
Then you talked about people faking certain diseases or conditions to get disability. Talk to me about that.
A lot of times they'll come in. You always hear about the people with the easiest way is when they play with the depression or they play with back pain and they can't work. But the ones that the government can't mess with is like, say, you have heart disease and it's not working quite well. Your heart's working at like 30%, or you have cancer. You automatically start receiving benefits, Medicaid, Medicare, depending on what you qualify for. And a lot of these unscrupulous places will say, yes, we've seen them, and these fake doctor offices, and they'll send you to another one.
Oh,
and then they'll do the same thing. So you got 2 consults.
Oh my God, dude, you've got to be kidding me. So they get a doctor, so they get 2 doctors in on this. So now they're using more than one doctor to, oh my God. You've got to be kidding me with this, man. How long have you been a nurse, if you don't mind me asking?
I got out of the Marine Corps. That was 2003.
Oh, wow.
2004.
2004. Okay. So, and how long have you witnessed this personally going on? Like, when's the first time you saw this kind of fraud happening?
I worked at a trauma center in Fort Lauderdale, and it was quite evident because when you sent for records and when you sent for what benefits they had, because they got an extended stay, the what was turning up wasn't the patient in the bed.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
We actually have, I work for a federal hospital I don't want to name.
Okay.
We actually have patients that have came in and received almost $1 million of services, and they were using their brothers and cousins' identification.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. And according to you, you said that this is rampant. Like this happens on the regular, right?
Yes.
Oh
There's pockets throughout South Florida. It's very flagrant.
This is unbelievable. Let me ask you one more question here before I let you go.
Yes.
Do you believe that there is any way that this can be stopped? I mean, because again, this seems very like it's like a crazy situation, but how do we stop it? Like how do we bring this to a stop? Like we know that the fraud, I guess according to you, is rampant. Is there a way to stop this?
Personally, that's out of my scope.
Okay.
But dealing with a fake pregnancy issue, you have to take them personally to the lab.
Okay.
And don't just, and it has to be done in front of you.
Yes.
Or it's court ordered, or it's got to be a legit. There's two major names of labs in the United States that do them.
Okay.
And there's no way around it, and you can't fake it.
So again, and according to Greg, and I think that this should be common sense for everyone, if a girl tells you that she's pregnant, or she says, hey, did a DNA test on you and you are the biological father, your advice, Greg, and I agree, is to take her to the lab yourself and to watch the test yourself.
Yes, sir.
That's
the only way I would do it.
Listen, I agree. Listen, any last thoughts before I let you go?
Be careful where you put it, because there's some diseases coming out there's no cures to, and it's getting more rampant.
Greg in Miami, I greatly appreciate that insight. You know, every once in a while, we get a caller that calls in about these certain issues, and they happen to be experts. You never know who's watching. Akametsu in Japan, I'm going to get to you in just 1 second. There are actually some really good comments here on the YouTube and the Sharpe stream side. So King Life says, I bet the company is owned by a male girl power movement enthusiast. Devin says it's probably some loser with Photoshop skills and some fake phone numbers. That's all probably. James Martinez asks, how does this help if a court-ordered DNA test doesn't use this service? Must be for the misinformed guy. 100%. 100%, guys. This is for the misinformed guy. Listen, women are going to try you. They're going to try you at every turn. And if a woman, even if a woman thinks that you're not stupid enough to fall for this, she will try anyway. And we got a lot of guys out here faking the funk. A lot of guys out here making themselves look and sound smarter than they really are. And when that woman tries you and hits you with this fake DNA test, she's got you. She's got you. Guys, this is 18 years, man. Unbelievable. Moosey PM says this is just downright sad. And the fact that the courts don't investigate these things and charge women who lie with fraud is just evil. There's no other way to put it. There is no other way to put it. This is evil. This is evil. This is sadistic fraud. And people wonder why men don't want to be in relationships with women anymore. Like honestly, what? I mean, listen, I was just going to ask, what is a man to do? Well, the obvious answer to what is a man to do, the obvious answer to that is to, of course, keep your eyes open. Handle your condoms. Like Greg said, take her to the lab. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Good comments. Gregory McGrath with a $10 super chat. He says, thank you for having me on. So that was Gregory McGrath in Miami with the $10 super chat. He just came with all of that knowledge. Let us go to Akumetsu in Japan. You're on live with Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, boss. I'll give you the tale of two countries.
Okay.
In Jamaica, that is $65 US to get that fake paternity test.
Wow.
To get an actual paternity test in Jamaica, it is $350 US at least.
So
To
you
get
mean
the
to tell me,
actual
let me just make sure I'm hearing you
paternity.
correctly here. So it's more expensive to get a real paternity test than it is to get a fake paternity test.
Yep.
So because of this disparity
Yep.
in cost, I mean, what kind of percentages are we talking here? Do a lot of guys in Jamaica get got? Like, I mean, what are we talking about here?
Listen, Donovan, if you think that the child is not yours and you decide to go to the DNA center, there is a 7 out of 10 chance that the child is not yours. In Jamaica, there are too many jokes of men dying. You have 3 kids. 2 are beautiful and the last one is butt ugly. And on your dying bed, the man says, honey, tell me the truth. Is the last one mine? And the honey says, yes, he's yours. And he dies in peace. And she says, thank God he didn't ask about the first 2.
Oh, my God. Oh, sweet mother of God. Holy moly, man. Oh, my God. Okay, so you said a tale of 2 countries. So one is Jamaica. What about... So tell me about Japan.
Right. Japan now, that can't happen. That has been reduced to a significant amount. If a man and a woman have a one-night stand and a woman ends up pregnant, she cannot put his name on the birth certificate without his permission.
Wow.
She cannot get an abortion without his signature.
Wow.
And those things are what are set up here to protect the man to a certain extent. So if a woman is promiscuous, she can take the chance and raise it by herself. But she can't put the man's name, she can't give the man's name to that child unless a DNA is done. And
that
you
is
know why I
incredible.
love living here, man.
So you currently live in Japan, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so let me just repeat what you just said, just so that I can make sure I get this straight. So, if a man and a woman in Japan have a one-night stand and the woman becomes pregnant, she cannot get an abortion without his signature. She can't put his name on the birth certificate without his signature. None of that stuff. So it would appear to me that the laws, the paternity laws in Japan, are set up to protect men. When, of course, in the U.S., it is literally the opposite. Wow.
Now, and the way they try to get around it is to get a male friend to sign. They get a male friend or some beta to sign it, to give it permission if she really wants to get rid of it, or she has a friend who will sign and say, okay, the lady takes my name.
A male friend of the pregnant woman, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You know what? It's so funny, Akumetsu. Of course, I've only lived in the U.S., but I've been all over the world, but I've never lived in any country for an extended period of time. So I guess my lizard brain, my hind brain, thought that the world was sort of against men. But it would appear that even though the girl power movement is sort of spreading around the world, it appears that there are some countries that actually want to protect men, and that Japan is one of those countries. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, it's simply that Japan is one of the last bastions of somewhat free speech and common sense in the world, because as you can see, Jamaica was affected by the US and the UK paternity rates. They're basically the same. You know, that 6 out of 10 children aren't their own, don't belong to the father in the UK, and 5 out of 10 in the US. So it really, as they say, sometimes when America sneezes, Jamaica catches a cold. So it comes in the style and the music, a lot of things, and I fear for it because I love my country, but
of course,
it is what it is. Thanks again, Donovan.
Thank
Take
you
care,
so
man.
much, man. Akumetsu in Japan, dropping that knowledge. Listen, man, a lot of people like to dog MLD disingenuously. They say, MLD, you couldn't get laid in America. That's why you moved to Japan. I'm here to tell you, if you can't get laid in America, you can't get laid anywhere. Masculinity arouses women the world over. That's just how this is. But one of the main reasons, I guess that, I mean, listen, John probably understood this. One of the main reasons that I guess one of the main reasons I would imagine that he probably moved out there is because the laws are actually set up fairly. John never has to worry about getting cucked. John doesn't have to worry about a girl he's seeing getting knocked up and then trying to accuse him of being the father. JB84 says, MLD got it right, man. Dude, 100%. 100%. Tricky Trini on Sharpe Stream says, actually, a single mother is seen as a failure in Japan. 100% right. You want to know what they call women over the age of 25 in Japan who are unmarried? They call them Christmas cake. Want to know why they call them Christmas cake? Is because nobody likes eating Christmas cake. If you are 25 or older in Japan and you are a woman who is unmarried with no kids, you are Christmas cake. Danny Arnold says, Japanistan is awesome. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. Holy smokes. Age of Machines with another $10 super chat says, Dad, by default in Michigan, has judges ignoring paternity tests. Once exposed in court, some judges still insist on making the man pay, even if he never slept with the woman. I don't understand. I just don't understand why. Like, dude, what did men ever do to women to deserve this? Like, honestly, for millions of years, men have fought for women, they've died for women, they've built for women, they've invented for women, they've protected women. And all men are getting in return is the middle finger. Ay, ay, ay. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Incredible. Okay, let us go to C-Dub. Now, C-Dub, I've got you on the line, C-Dub. According to the notes, it says here that you are a lawyer. Is that correct?
That is correct. I've been at this 15 years now. Don't know where it went, but I'm actually pretty fucking good at it. So
okay.
There we are.
Okay, all right. Well, so what are your thoughts and comments on the legal aspect of paternity fraud?
Okay, so before we get to that, I will co-sign on everything Greg said in terms of the medical fraud side of things.
Okay.
All it takes is a couple of willing licensed professionals who know what they're doing. And typically the biggest fraud is in the Medicare Medicaid system because governments are so slow to catch on to what the fraud is doing.
Right.
You can ring up the federal government for tens of millions of dollars over a several year time frame before they catch up with you. And then usually how that works is you've defrauded the state or feds out of millions of bucks, and then they come calling and you say, okay, well, let me render unto Caesar and we'll settle out of court. And they're like, okay.
Right.
So they pay a small percentage of what they stole, and then they don't have to go to jail, and they get to keep the rest.
Wow.
So that's how they get away with it.
Holy moly, man. It's almost like it's a system that is set up specifically to defraud men. Am I wrong?
Oh, no, you are 100% right, and we're just getting started, so I'll keep this quick on the paternity fraud thing.
Okay.
If I could give men one piece of advice other than be careful where you put it and don't hook up with crazy, do not believe for 1 second whatever any woman, whatever you think she is, whoever you think she is to you, do not trust anything she shows you. Insist on your own tests independently from somebody you've paid that she doesn't have anything to do with. That's the only way you even start to unwind some of this. And there is some small amount of hope given the state because in Indiana, actually, they won't allow men to sign the birth certificate until a DNA test comes back that shows that they're the dad that the state approves.
Really?
And frankly, it should be like that in all. Yeah, it should be like that in all 50 states, but for girl power movement reasons, it's not. But anyway, so how to stop this company from doing the fraud that they're doing is the way you stop any company. You hit them where it hurts. In the pocketbook.
Okay.
And this is how I would do it. Let's say I'm a guy and a woman brings me this fake DNA test and then tries to hit me up to court. Oh, and before I get there, the way women trap most men with these fake documents is they convince the men that it's legit, and the man signs off voluntarily
Right.
on the birth certificate
Right.
and foregoes, an actual DNA test, and then they're on for 18 years.
There it is.
And once you sign on a birth certificate saying it's yours, it is 2 acts of Congress to get your name off of it. It just doesn't happen. So,
Right.
word to the wise there. So, let's say I'm a man and I get, hit with these fraudulent paternity documents. What I would do is find myself a brave and inventive lawyer, because you and your lawyer are going to get a poop storm if you go in this direction. But stay with me. So I would calculate 18 years of child support damages and then sue the woman and the fraudulent company for attempted fraud to the tune of $500,000 or whatever it is for child support.
There we go.
In the state and then all of a sudden, it takes a lot of $60 per test frauds to pay out a $500,000 judgment.
Right.
Now it's going to take a while, and it's going to take some money, and you better be in it for the long haul, because it's not going to be easy to make this case stick. But the reality is, it would only take 1 or 2 successful lawsuits like that before either the fraud companies would up their prices substantially to compensate themselves for the legal risk, or they just get out of the business altogether. It's like, hey, this was free, easy money before, but now it ain't, because a couple of people have showed the way on how to punch back at us, and we're just not going to do this anymore. But it's going to take something like that and nothing less to stop something like this. And stripped away of everything else from a legal perspective, it's a basic fraud case.
Yes.
The woman is attempting to transfer resources from you to her fraudulently with the aiding and abetting of this fraudulent paternity proof company. That's if I were representing a man in that kind of situation, that is how I would attack it.
Let me ask you this, C-Dub. Let me ask you this. So, and I love the way you explain that, but I never, and again, what you just did is you shined light on another aspect of this, right? So, okay, women are bad. They're trying to defraud men. They're trying to make men think that they're the fathers of the children. They're actually not. But the fraudulent company, the fake DNAtest.com, they are equally responsible. What kind of penalties? I mean, I'm sure it probably goes from state to state. It could be a federal type thing. What kind of liability? What kind of risks are companies like this taking? And they've probably defrauded hundreds, if not thousands, of men at this point. So, what kind of risk are they taking, and what could be done? Again, I guess with these lawsuits.
So, the private sector lawsuits are always the pointy tip of the spear towards attacking things like this that are just wrong and should not happen.
Got it.
Just as is the case with government fraud, they're always years behind the curve. And the reality is, if government regulators or law enforcement were ever going to get involved in this, it would depend on who is in office. And let's just say the side of the political spectrum that favors the girl power movement, they will never do anything to stop this or shut it down.
Holy moly. So the best opportunity that we have to shut this down is if I don't want to say the name, but our current presidential situation, his political alliances represents the best opportunity for this to get shut down, whereas maybe in the Obama administration or even the Clinton administration, not so much.
Oh, there is a negative 473% chance that they would ever lift to stop any of this if, let's say, the other side were to come back to power. And even the current folks and their allies, they have so much on their plate right now. As big a deal as this is to men, frankly, this is not even in their top 10 list of priorities at the moment. So even if they were inclined to get to it, it would probably take a while. So again, it's back to, private lawsuits, private citizens, the capitalist system and the power of the almighty dollar to enforce what is actually right long before our so-called government betters ever get around to actually lifting a finger.
Wow. And again, this would take a lawsuit in the private sector to get the attention of the public sector, which of course is the U.S. government.
Yeah, it would take a successful lawsuit against a woman and this paternity fraud company in court and a judgment that holds up on appeal. And, all of a sudden then you have something that's like, hey, this is something that you can do news releases about and all sorts of things to start shining some light on these cockroaches.
Incredible. Listen, C-Dub, that was incredibly insightful. I had no idea that you were a lawyer. So now that I know that I have you as a lawyer, maybe I'll do like, hey, listen, C-Dub, if you're watching, if you're listening, give us the legal aspect of this. C-Dub, thank you very much for calling into the show, man.
Yeah, anytime. If there's something I know something about that can help our community, I consider it community service and paying it forward for all the kindness that you and other content creators have done for me over time. So you just let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the call. I just screen grabbed his number, so I'm going to get a hold of him. Listen, Greg in Miami is a nurse, right? There was another guy who was a doctor. He was an actual doctor. Now that we know C-Dub is an attorney, he is a lawyer, I can maybe lean on him in terms of some of the legal ramifications in terms of the issues that we're talking about. RPM, I see you on the line. I'm going to get to you in just a second. Squadron J on the Sharpe stream side says, I had an issue with child support. His mom claimed him on welfare, cash aid, and they wouldn't release me from an obligation even though I had custody of him. So I had to get her off welfare so I could change the support order. I paid for 8 years of child support when I had full custody. California said you can go after her or you can have her arrested. I said, cool, come and get her. Bravo. Dude, you got to stick it to these broads, man. You got to stick it to these broads. Tricky Trini on the Sharpe stream side says, I treated a surgeon that charged Uncle Sam $10 million in unscrupulous surgery. C-Dub is on the money. And Tricky Trini, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're a doctor, yes? I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't want to put that on you, but I think Tricky Trini is in the medical field, if I'm not mistaken. Devin on Sharpe stream says, could go class action. Man, I'm trying to tell you. But again, what C-Dub just said is that what they do is they defraud these men with fraudulent paperwork. Then they go and they sign a legally binding document on the birth certificate. So in order to right the wrong of that, it would now take 2 acts of Congress. And guess what? You're not going to get 1 act of Congress to right that wrong, especially if whoever is in office leans to the left. So listen, if ever there was a time to maybe undo some of this, now would be the time. Now would be the time. Very, very good call by C-Dub. Very good call by C-Dub. All right, let us go. Let us go to Red Pill Mike. RPM, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I'm going to be honest. I almost considered dropping off the line after hearing C-Dub because he said just about everything I was going to say. Plus, he nailed it even better with all of his law experience.
Of course.
I think I'm glad you're doing this show because I have heard about this, a few times over the years. And I think one of the biggest problems is that I think most men know there's a chance they can get hit with paternity fraud, but I don't think they understand that the links and the extremes that are out there now,
right,
where they can and what can happen. I think, and most of them probably would have a hard time even believing the validity behind it if you told them.
Right.
So, right. I mean, I'm absolutely glad that you're doing this. I think, when it comes down to it, like he said, it's going to take a major lawsuit to, put this thing in a position where, it can even persuade these companies to not want to do this. But unfortunately, we're just still at this place in time where, if women can make false claims and get a slap on the wrist, like you said, your girl who tried to do this to you, I mean, she got arrested for, saying that you attempted to assault her or whatever, and they didn't even do anything.
Right.
If they're not going to go after the women that actually even institute this and put this in place in the first place, how are they going to hold the companies accountable that basically help them with the process?
Exactly. Dude, listen, Mike, you're 100% right. If they don't go after the women, and again, let's call a spade a spade. Going after a woman is a lot easier than going after the company because companies have money. Women do not, right? So if somebody were to bring a lawsuit against the company, I mean, they'd be in for a heavyweight legal fight, right? But you try to do something to, you try to go after the woman, maybe not so much because she probably doesn't have money, which is probably why she tried to scam you paternally anyway. But listen, you nailed it on the head, man. If Congress, if people aren't going to go after women, then what on earth makes us think that they're going to go after these companies who have these millions of dollars?
Right, exactly. And it's not even just with this. I mean, we all know countless incidents, it doesn't even matter what it is. If you are a woman and you commit any kind of a crime, you're going to get a much lighter sentence if you even get sentenced at all. And in instances like this, they've got to be held to the same level of the law as a man would. You know, anytime a man frauds anyone, he's going to get the book thrown at him.
Right.
Why should it be any different for them?
I agree. Listen, Red Pill Mike, always good to hear from you. The guy drops red pill knowledge all the time, and he's always super chatting like hundreds of dollars. Red Pill Mike, do me a favor, man. Shoot me an email. Because I need to get you some product, man. I definitely need to get you some product. Before I go to Matt, Matt in Utah, you're next. Then I've got Tom in Germany. So Matt in Utah is next. Tom in Germany right after him. Brandon Charles on Sharpe Stream says, I went through a long custody battle, didn't see my own son until he was 3. The court takes everything she says at face value, but any claim you make is hearsay unless you have it on video. I had to do random drug tests and pay for them same day she requested. The whole time she was doing coke, effing my friends, and going to orgies. I had close to $1,000 per month child support, 3 years, and the minimum 4 days sharing a month. Only recently has it been reduced, even though I'm disabled. I had to get a court order to even know if he is mine. Unbelievable. It's just, dude, it is just like, dude, listen, this is why the MGTOW movement exists. Men have had it. Like, dude, I cannot understand how women can seriously ask, where have all the good men gone? I do not understand how a woman cannot disingenuously act, why are men opting out of relationships and marriage? Women know this kind of stuff goes on, yet they ask the question as if to feign ignorance about what's really going on out here in these streets. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Let us go to Matt in Utah. Matt in Utah. You're on Live at Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, Donovan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
So I just had a couple thoughts I want to tie in, and it's kind of funny, you know, now that we're talking about it. Your boy, Coach Greg Adams, posted a post earlier about Future, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the idiot's at it again. He's now at number 9, baby mama, $56,000 a month.
Oh my God, Future.
I can't help but wonder how many of them bought from that site, you know, the attorney fraud.
Ooh.
But and all jokes aside, that was just for levity. You know, the thing is that, and I'm going to tie this into a slightly different subject, but I promise it'll make the point.
Okay.
So when I was going through divorce, I was from I used to be from SAC, as you know, and then I moved out to Utah because I couldn't deal with the California culture anymore.
Right.
And so when I was going through divorce, my dad was telling me about this guy because he you know, we were near Napa. So my dad worked with a guy who was going through divorce in Napa. And so he had unequivocal proof that his ex-wife was buying drugs from his daughter's friends.
Oh,
trying
my God.
to.
Wow.
You know, he would be hitting her up. She would be hitting him up trying to buy drugs from her friends at school. That was proved in court. He proved that. The judge still said the kid belongs to the mother no matter what.
Oh my God.
Even with all that evidence that she was a cokehead, she was trying to buy drugs from her friends and everything. So the thing is like you have these people in power that no matter what you do, they're simps. That is about the most powerful beta that can be, is a judge in that position who holds those views. And so there was no justice. The guy was slapped. He had to pay the child support and everything, and he couldn't even get the custody of his daughters.
Oh, Jesus
So-
Christ, man.
And so where we're at now is that we have this problem where there's a paternity fraud, but you have these kinds. So it's like it is a very political thing in the aspect of you have these people, with, like you were saying, the girl power movement, and like what was his name, Sita?
Yeah.
He was talking about people in power, and that's the problem, is that you have these feminists that are running things, and it's actually incredibly surprising to know that, you know, not only does Japan run circles around us when it comes to technology and innovation, now they're running circles around us when it comes to fairness, and we're supposed to be the Western society,
Yes.
Western philosophy, originally, fairness, and we can't even get our shit together. And they're already light speeds ahead of us.
It's incredible.
So it's a very, very sad thing.
It is, man. And I'll tell you something else, Matt. A lot of women like to shame men, or a lot of American women like to shame men who want to go overseas because they want to be with feminine, docile women. So I'm going to give you this will be my last question to you before I let you go. What would you say to a woman or women who say the reason you want to go to Japan, the reason why you want to go to Thailand is because you want women you can walk all over? What would be your response to women who shame men for going overseas in search of better women?
You know what? Because I hear that kind of stuff before. Because like I said, I left California because California women are just horrible.
Of course,
they're absolutely horrible. I left for Utah for a more traditional woman, right? It's more common out here. So the thing is like that's just a classic shaming tactic in the sense that, oh, you just want a woman that you can walk all over because you can't seem to get a man because you want to walk all over him. And so it's just I don't even. It's such an absurd comeback that I don't even know if I can even respond to it. It's just like the Tommy Lauren bullshit,
right?
And then she especially coming from a woman that claims to be conservative. I don't know where you fall. I definitely would say you have more conservative viewpoints.
Well, absolutely.
Since we're rallying against the same evil,
right?
And so it's like, okay, how is it that you claim to be a pundit in this and yet you don't get it?
Right.
And so, like, and that's the classic feminist knee-jerk reaction. It's just like with society, because I'll say it out loud. I'm a Christian, so I have the viewpoint of what it should be in the sense that, wives submit to your husbands.
Right.
Husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church. If you say that anymore, they say, well, that's weakness.
Even in the church?
In order for them to have that, what's that?
Even in the church? So if you say women submit to your husbands, husbands love your wives like Jesus loved the church, if you say that in church, do you get pushback at church?
Well, if you're in the super liberal ones, yes. But then again, the ones that are incredibly popular because they're trying too much to be like the culture, they look less and less like Christ.
Right.
And so, but the idea that I'm getting at is that they'll say, okay, submit. That's become like a term of weakness.
Yes. Right.
And that's why everything has to be redefined. And so when you put it in the feminist light, of course submission looks like weakness. But you have to do all those steps and go through the feminist mantras to get to that point. And then they still can't figure out why they're 47 years old and living with cats. So,
Matt in Utah, I appreciate the thoughts. Listen, he is absolutely right. Even women, women disingenuously mischaracterize the word submissive. And women know that being submissive has nothing to do with being weak. Okay? A woman who is weak has no choice but to submit. No, submission is a choice. Like, this is what these women this is what these women disingenuously act like they don't know. Submission is a choice. Submission is not something a woman does under duress, at least not in this country. So when we as men say, listen, women, you have to be submissive to men, this means he makes all the decisions. He's the leader of the household. He leads you. He leads himself. He comes first. You defer to him. That is submission. No man, dude, when a man never has to make a woman submit. She submits of her own free will and volition. But the girl power movement has made submission a dirty word. Well, you shouldn't submit to your husband because that's a weakness. Once again, they are juxtaposing submission between men and women. A man who is submissive is weak. A female who is submissive is seen as strong because she does it by choice. These women have it ass backwards, man. I swear to God. Tom in Germany, I'm going to come to you in just a minute. C-Dub, who is just on the line with us with the $20 super chat, says, get the judgment against the women and the paternity fraud company and file criminal charges against the woman if your state permits. When the woman's finances and freedom are at risk, this might stop. Not a moment before. He said it when he was on the phone, guys. You got to hit him where it hurts. You got to hit the company in the wallet. You have to hit the woman in the freedom. Women are not used to going to jail. Women get away with crimes every day, all the time. When the typical American woman actually gets arrested, she's shocked. Oh my God, I'm actually getting arrested, because women never are held accountable. Danny Arnold says, when there are consequences for people's actions, people behave better. Absolutely, yes. They need to take these treacherous women to the courts, make an example out of them, and maybe women will change. I agree. Listen, you take a woman's freedom. You certainly change her mind. That is absolutely 100% true. All right, let us go back to the phone lines. Let us go to Tom in Germany. Now, Tom, apparently you had this scam pulled on you back in '92 when you were in the Army. Tell us about how that happened.
Yeah, Donovan, it was crazy. I met this girl, typical story. Met her at the club, danced. After meeting her there a couple of consecutive weekends, we go together. We have a good time. Okay, so we do the dirty deed. Fine. 3-4 months later, I see her pretty much regularly, but we're not. I wouldn't say dating. We don't go out for dates. We don't.
Sure.
Go to dinner and meet the family or anything like that.
You're just smashing, having fun.
All of a sudden, yeah, having fun. About 3 months later, I get approached, in the bathroom because I'm dancing with other girls, right? And I'm having a good time. She wasn't the only one I was exclusively with at the time. And bam, she shoves this picture in my face. And it's an ultrasound picture, okay? It's got the dates. It's got printed. It's from this hospital there. And at the time, at the posting that we were at in a German city. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is legit. And she tells me and we barely even communicated. We really didn't talk that much.
Right.
Having fun. And, yeah. And so I go, oh, my God, what is this? And she goes, baby. And she's pointing to it. And I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, I was freaked out. I went back. We didn't go home together that night. I went home. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. I bring in all my buddies, all my Army buddies. And I go, what the heck is this? Dude, I got problems, man. She's pregnant. And they're like, that girl that you've been with? I was like, nah. Really? Have you been having unprotected sex? Yeah, but she was supposedly using birth control.
Right.
I used, condoms. I was being very safe. I'm overseas, man. It's the early 90s. I mean, I had to be safe, And I did everything right. No. Oh, no. One of my buddies said, okay, hey, Tom, don't panic. Relax. Take your time. I'm going to take this. Do you mind if I take this? He said, no. He didn't even tell me what he was going to do.
Right.
What it turns out, he took it to our medic, our doc, who lived in our building. We were in a barracks, right?
Oh,
so
wow.
The doc shows it to doc. Yeah, he shows it to doc, our medic, the guy that's in our platoon. We're just I was an NCO at the time, a non-commissioned officer. We're all soldiers, NCOs, looking out for each other. And so he hands it to doc and says, hey, doc, what do you think of this? And doc looks at it and he goes, well, this is an ultrasound that was taken 7 months ago. And we're like, what?
Wow.
7 months ago? I haven't even been with this girl 7 months ago. Well, a little secret for you guys, if you ever travel to an overseas European country, is that they do the dates different. See, they do the day, month, year, okay, when they put things on official documents. Anybody that's been overseas knows that. Well, I didn't. I was new. I'd only been here for a short time. So essentially, if you want an example, if you put December the 12th of 2020, okay, it would read 01/12/2020.
Right.
Okay, here in Germany, because they do order it. But we in America, what do? What do? We put the 12 up front.
Right.
So
right.
we
12/1/20.
1/2020.
Right.
So it looks like this person's been pregnant for a year.
Oh my God.
Okay? So if you time it right, and you want to trap somebody, right? That's what you do.
Holy
dummy
moly.
that doesn't know what he's looking at.
So what ended up happening? Like, did you tell
Yeah,
the girl, hey, look, like, I know you're trying to scam me, get out of my life. What happened in the end?
Well, what happened in the end was it took a few days because I was panicking, right? So I didn't get that answer back from the doc right away.
Right.
The doc wanted to take a look at it and take it to an actual medical professional and say, hey, what should this guy say from this? In the meantime, this is no joke. I ended up getting invited over to her family's house, who I'd never seen before.
Wow.
Okay? Turns out their family, completely German, didn't speak any English, but they had one guy. He was one of these losers that we talk about, that, they come overseas and they never leave or whatever. He was one of those soldiers that probably kicked out at a very, very low rank. He's the one that was he was the actual father of her first child.
Oh my God.
And
Holy moly.
So I show up and I'm meeting this other man. He's like, who's this? Oh, you knew I had a daughter. I was like, yeah, but who is this? Oh, he's the father. He speaks perfect English. He's a former soldier who decided to live over here. He's living in the same town, probably living with her, probably all legit, But they're trying to work me over for a scam for money. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This is weird, right? So we talk about it. They're welcoming to the family. They're looking at the new daddy, and they're divorced, by the way. As a matter of fact, they were never married. They were just the mama and baby daddy for his kid. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? When I went back to my friends, I was like, this is crazy. Oh, dude, you're getting scammed. That dude's trying to get money from you. Sure enough.
So let me ask you. Okay, I was going to say, that's what I was going to ask you. It sounds to me like the baby daddy from her first kid was in on the scam too. Am I wrong?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
When I went back to my buddies, because I understand my state at the time. I was young. I was 21 years old.
Sure. You don't know anything,
shit.
right? Yeah,
I was ready for fatherhood.
Right.
And I didn't feel trapped. I thought she was a semi-nice girl. She seemed, she had a kid. It didn't bother me. I wasn't hung up on that. But then when I got introduced to the baby daddy of her child, and he's an American, and he's a dude that got kicked out of the army, and I'm sitting there in their house, and we're having dinner. I'm like, this is weird. When I went back to my buddies, they're like, dude, don't call. Don't respond.
There you go.
Don't do anything.
There you go.
Cut them off right now. Because I just talked to the freaking PA, and he checked that stuff out. There's no way that this girl is 4 months pregnant. Look, we were dancing with her in the club 3 nights ago. She would be showing.
Yes, right.
Already. And she's not. Wow. It was a complete fake to try to get me to do the right thing, and that was what I was being encouraged to do.
And here's the thing, Tom. You want to know why?
Get married.
Listen, check this out. Here's why this was really scary. This happened in '92, man. This is 1992. It's 30.
This
is 30 years later, man.
I was just Donovan. I was just watching your show, and I was like, wait a minute. This has been going on for some time. Now, it's not as organized as, what's going on in your show right now.
Yeah.
But there's a whole slew, whether you know or not. It's dying out now because, as years pass. But in the past, I guarantee they were entrapping men into, just because of their ignorance and their youth, to do crazy things over here in Germany, because they were very advanced medically. The ultrasound was very, very common, where it didn't used to be, 25, 30 years ago in the United States. You had to pay a lot of money to get an ultrasound. It wasn't, but here it was commonplace. And a lot of guys would get scared by that. And they'd be, oh, look, there's your baby. Hey, you need to marry me, or whatever. And
well, Tom, I appreciate the call, man. I had to move on. I've got to go to Squadron J. I'm going to go to Squadron J. Squadron J. So sounds like you've got sort of a paternity fraud story to tell as well. Tell us about that, man.
Yeah, so my son's mother. So I was 19
Okay.
when I had him. So for the first, I'd say the first month, she basically popped out the kid for like the first month just by myself at 19.
Wow.
And so then she found out that I started seeing somebody, and of course she takes him, and I didn't see him again for another 6 months.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, man.
Right? So, I mean, from a month to 6 months, he's a whole. So we went through the court system, and of course, fighting through that for several years. And then, it just got to the point where she obviously just wanted the money. So I was like, fine, cool. You can take the money. I want the kid. So I basically was paying her to have him. And at some point, I'm just like, this is stupid. And so I started going through the process to get, to change the custody order.
Right.
So I could have him and, take him out of the state and all that good stuff. And I went to file the paperwork because I got her to sign it. It was all good. Found out that she had been on welfare for like the last 8 years.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, well, I needed money. I said, well, he lives with me. I have him. You cannot put him on your welfare.
Oh my God, that is incredible.
And she's like, well, what do you mean? He's my kid. And I said, yeah, but I have custody of him. I'm paying taxes. I'm paying this. Well, the way welfare works in California is if she's on it and you're the parent, you pay for her welfare.
Right. That is incredible.
So,
that you have to do you still live in California?
No, so I left California years ago. So it's been about 8 years now.
Oh my God!
Listen, but I was fighting this.
How long? I was going to say, how long were you fighting this for?
So I had him in '99. I fought child custody, all this bullshit until 2016.
Oh, Jesus!
He was 17 that year.
Oh my God!
He turned 18. He turned 18 the next year. So I fought for all those years, really for nothing. And then they said, oh, well, all this stuff, you can go after her, you can take her to jail. And I said, well, shoot, my kid's like, look, it's my mom. Don't want to do that. And he's like, you got me, you're good, whatever. So, I kind of just let it go at that point, but it's amazing. It's like, the system is set up so that the men pay. And it's been like this since welfare and all this stuff.
Yes.
As soon as government became baby daddy.
That's right. Yep.
They got to get the money from somewhere.
That's
and
right.
It's always the guys that are kind of stuck.
Yep. No, it's always the guy. Listen, it is always the guys that are stuck. And thank you for the phone call, Squadron J. He brings up a very good point, which is the point that I made at the top of the show. One of the three pillars, one of the three objectives of the girl power movement is the transference of resources from men to women. As soon as men started opting out of marriage, opting out of having kids, opting out of even relationships, this is an easy choice for women. This would not be possible if not for the welfare state. If not for the welfare state, paternity fraud would be drastically reduced. Just like Squadron J said, women got to get the money somewhere. Heaven forbid they actually work for a living. Young Lion's Perspective on YouTube says, been this way since the 1960s welfare. Exactly. Women know. Women know that they can use the government to fund their lives, but they need that bonding agent. They need the host. The government wants to give me money, so how do I do this? How can I get money out of the government without really having to do anything that's uncomfortable? She's going to hoe around. She's going to sleep around. She's not uncomfortable with doing that. Pop out a couple of kids. She's not uncomfortable with doing that either. Women no longer have children to satisfy their motherly maternal needs. No, women are having children to fund their lives. Women have children so that they can claim them on their taxes. Women are having children so they can hit the baby daddy with child support. Yeah, Mad Cow says the welfare state needs to be dismantled as well. Listen, I'm 100% in favor of that. Morpheus on the Sharpe stream site says, I had a fake pregnancy test scam ran on me. About 25 years ago, I was suspicious, but went ahead and paid for the abortion. That is the best case scenario. Listen, the best case scenario, if a girl fakes a pregnancy to try to get $400 out of you for the abortion, not that that's a good scenario, but listen, $400 to potentially avoid having to pay 18 years of child support, I'll make that trade-off. That is the best case scenario in that situation. All day, every day. There was another comment on the YouTube side that I wanted to get to. Where was it? There was another comment I wanted to get to. Yeah, somebody said that they're not going to vacation. BK from the Rockies says that don't see myself vacationing too much in California. Listen, I'll vacation in California all day long. California, that's about all California is good for. The cost of living is ridiculous. They tax the you-know-what out of you. And, of course, the court system and the laws there in family court, dude, the state of California is literally trying to destroy men. At every corner. At every turn. The only thing, California is kind of like the girl with a high notch count. She's only good for sex. California is only good for vacationing. Don't commit to California. Go have fun with California every once in a while, but don't live there. Don't commit to California. Very, very, very well said. Well, gentlemen, that is going to do it for this edition of TSR Live. Let me shout out my super chatters. Greg McGrath, I appreciate that $10 super chat. Actually, two of them. Age of Machines, Nonstop Dre 60, Thanos was right. I appreciate those super chats as well. Age of Machines again. And then, of course, C-Dub. And again, special thanks goes out to Greg in Miami and C-Dub. Greg in Miami and C-Dub really brought another perspective to this. Like, listen, man, maybe I've had my head in the sand. I had no idea that paternity fraud was the only thing going on in the medical community. Apparently, people are coming up with fraudulent diseases to get benefits. Had no idea, man. Had no idea. Special thanks goes out to my guys on Sharpe Stream. You guys are the reason why this show is in existence. Very, very, very good show today. I doubt that YouTube is going to give me the yellow dollar sign or give me the green dollar sign. In the unlikely event that they do, I will leave it up, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I know that it is far more likely than not that I'm going to get the yellow dollar sign, which means that the only place this is going to be available is on Patreon. And if you want to become a patron, if you want access to all of that unfiltered content, the Sharpe Shorts, TSR Live, the entire archive from episode 1, you got to go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Ed Lattimore on the Sharpe Stream side says, great show. I appreciate that, Ed. I wonder if Ed's down in Florida yet. Ed's supposed to be going down to Florida for a special project. Appreciate that, Mr. Lattimore. On the Sharpe Stream side, I will see you guys tomorrow at 3 Eastern, 3-ish Eastern. I will have my $5,000 worth of upgrades. I'm putting in 4 new monitors. As a matter of fact, right after I get off of the air, I'm shutting everything down. I've got 4 55-inch curved TVs. I've got 4 of those. I'm going to put them all in front of me. I'm going to replace these monitors. I've got another 49-inch wide screen, flat, curved monitor. And so this will truly be, this is going to be the best studio. This is going to be the best studio out there. I take tremendous pride in the fact that this is a state-of-the-art studio. All of the equipment is the very best. All of the equipment is the very best. I have the very best sound mixer. I have the very best microphone. I have the very best computer. And now I will have the very best screens. I have some of the best cameras. The cameras are very, very good. No, I did not get a new R5. I'm not going to get the R5. I will at some point. I just don't see that it's necessary quite yet, because the picture on Sharpe Stream The picture on SharpeStream is in-effing-credible. It's incredible. The picture on YouTube isn't bad. Let me see what it looks like on YouTube. Yeah, the picture on YouTube is not really that bad. I cranked up the setting on YouTube to 1080p. Give me a second, because I got to mute this as soon as I turn this on. Hang on. I have the very best microphone. There we go. So I'm gonna put the YouTube side by side with SharpeStream. YouTube's actually got a pretty good. It's got a pretty clean. Looks like it's a clean picture today, but it actually looks very good on YouTube. But on SharpeStream, it looks just a little bit better. On SharpeStream, dude, it is crystal freaking clear, man. It is crystal freaking clear on SharpeStream. It is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful picture. Matter of fact, here, let me put it up here. Let me put it up here just so you guys can see how crisp this is. So this is me. Yep, there we go. So this is me. Now, I guess I'm a little bit delayed. Am I a little bit delayed? Huh. Okay, very good. So this is me, as you guys can see. And a big thanks goes out to Medi Naha with the €2 super chat. Says, and the very best content. Thank you so much. I don't think you guys can really see just how crisp the picture is if it's monitor after monitor, but take my word for it, man. My guys on the YouTube side, my guys on the SharpeStream side are always talking about how much better the quality is on SharpeStream. And you guys make this possible. Thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon at around 3 Eastern. Thanks for watching.